Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Greg McDaniel. This is REGeeks. I have my cohort, my co-host, this intelligent, handsome man, Mr. Michael Field, and we're going to be talking about what is a master prompt? What does it do? How do you articulate it? How can you make it work for you? Now, in all pretext here, I was messing around with trying to do a master prompt in my car this morning after walking the dogs. And I'll tell you one thing, I thought it was pretty stinking good. I brought it to Michael and he's like, yeah, that's a little weak. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought I went deep on this stuff. But that's the whole point of this show. We're going to really go deep. Michael's going to break it down. He's got some great slides. And then we're going to dissect what I did and how I can improve it. And we're going to do it in live time. So, for no ado at this point, Mr. Michael Fielden, welcome to the show.
Hey, Greg, good to see you. No ado, huh?
No, that didn't come out right. I know.
There should be an ado, but that's okay. It's closing in on the end of the week for us, so I get it. Hey, it's good to see everybody again. I'm always excited to do this show, and Greg and I were talking last night about the fact that we just need to try to do more. We need to get more information out to the people, and we need to record more so that there are a lot of people that are seeing what we're doing and seeing how we're giving back and doing better in real estate. I promise you, as the market continues to fluctuate, which it always will, the information that we share with you is going to be ever more important. So, Greg, without any further ado, let's start talking about the master prompt.
Let's do it. What is a master prompt first? What is a master prompt?
Well, let's just dive in because, I like speaking points, and I'm going to explain the master prompt to you. We're going to go through this. We're going to talk about what it is, the problem with disjointed AI prompts, how the master prompt works, and a few other things. I think that the important part to get out of this is the fact that if you are just using ChatGPT and saying, write me an email for blah, 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 enter, you're probably not doing as much with AI as you could be. And so we're going to start here. And what is the master prompt method? The master prompt method involves creating a detailed multi-page document. And when I talk to people about the master prompt in my training sessions where we're doing groups, I think multi-page is a little bit of a misnomer. A good master prompt could be 10, 20, 30, 40 pages. So when we talk about multi-page, Greg, we're not just talking about 2 pages. We're talking about something that can drive everything forward for you and make what you do better. And the purpose behind it, because everything has a purpose, is to teach AI who Greg McDaniel is, what Greg McDaniel represents, who Greg McDaniel works for, and what are the structures that Greg McDaniel works within. So your master prompt is going to include your personal role, your company details. If you're on a team, your team details, the structure, the products that you're selling. Okay, what market are you selling? Single family homes, multifamily, all of those things. And remember, you might want to do something today for an investment property and something tomorrow for a residential single family listing. You want to have a master prompt that is all encompassing, talking about how you serve all of those customers. Okay, so go ahead.
So, and what I want you to continue, but I want to jump in really quickly because when you say like that you want you super detailed, like 20, 30 pages deep, I mean, that's really kind of confusing to the majority of us out in the world. And we'll talk about what I did later, but I really need to step it up because I did maybe a half a page this morning.
Well, and Greg, I think what you focused on is what you know.
Exactly.
Right? It's what you know today. And most of us work in blocks of like 6 months, right? We remember what we did 3 months ago. We know what we're going to do over the next 3 months, but everything else is history or way too far in the future. The master prompt is something that is your life encompassed in a document that AI can learn from.
So do you save this in chat, or is this something you have to regenerate every time?
Nope. There are preferences in chat where you can preload part of your prompt. And that's what we're
Oh.
going to do here. Right now, what I would tell you is that this document is also living, right? The market changes, your product changes, who you are changes. All of those things go into this. So as we keep going through, right now, let's define the problem. Okay. Without a unified context, okay, we don't know anything about you, Greg.
Mhm.
The interactions become fragmented. If you are saying over and over, I am a Danville real estate agent, that's a lot of wasted effort on your part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all of this leads to inconsistency and AI responses that miss critical business information. Okay. And the highlight of this is the lack of continuity hampers productivity. Okay. So we're going to really focus on how to do that, how the master prompt works. Okay. Collect detailed info on personal roles, company background, market insights, structure, products, and culture into one document. Okay. So this is more than your bio. This is your life. Where did you grow up? How long have you lived there? What cities have you lived in? What kind of jobs did you have? You may not use these all the time, but this becomes part of your master prompt. Okay. We are in a very unique industry. One of the other things I want you to put into this is here are the rules that I live by, right? Include the Fair Housing Administration guidelines so that chat knows what it can do with the information that you're asking for.
That right there is a very important aspect.
Mhm.
Very important. It's phenomenal.
Okay. And I think what holds true, and this is, especially in California, other states may vary, you want to make sure that you tell your master prompt, this is my DRE number. I need to include this on every advertisement that I create.
Mhm.
Okay. That's an
Mhm.
important fact to keep you out of trouble. Okay. And then upload to preferences. Okay. I use Claude as the example here. You can do it in Claude. You can do it in ChatGPT. You can do it in Gemini. The master prompt is going to be saved in your preferences. The context is auto loaded every single time. Okay. So if you've got 30 pages, you don't have to paste it. You don't have to do anything. You just simply go in and you start your conversation. And now when you say, write me an ad for X, Y, and Z, AI already knows the context, the rules, and all of the stuff that you have to follow in order to get an ad. Okay.
Hmm.
You can also add specific protocols, embed these guidelines within the master prompt, like the fair housing, any rules for your company, tasks that you normally do. These might also include, we always use this term, or this is one of the CMAs that we create. We want it to generally look like this. The beautiful part about AI as a whole now is you can also upload documents. So you can put an entire document into your prompt. Okay, you also want to use context rich prompts. Context is important here. And this is one of the things that I believe when we talk about your master prompt that we need to get into. You want to include concise, detailed information. You
Mhm.
want to be able to give people something that you can't get out of just a generic prompt. Okay. And that's the important part. If you're sharing who you are, people are going to become attached to you.
So, for an example, for specifics, something along the lines for myself, right?
Yep.
Just I'm spitballing here, throwing spaghetti at the wall. I have two German shepherds. I drive a Jeep SRT. I live in West Side Alamo. I love boating. Hiking is a hobby. I'm really bad at cooking. I
All
mean,
those
just
things.
all of that, right? Just dump it
All
in,
those
right?
things should be in there. Okay. And the other part that I know because I've already heard it, you left out of your master prompt is how you got into the business, what
Oh,
got you started, Who do you know that's in the business? What were your leading, factors? What were the things that influenced you most? All of those things. You left out all your schools. You left out any additional education. You focused on the key points and the bullets, but you left the meat out of what you were doing.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that because, I mean, hey, I went to San Ramon Valley High School, graduated in 1997. I went to Marymount University in LA, worked in, these different various, vocations.
Yeah.
I delivered yogurt. I was working in the warehouse. I delivered papers. I worked at Safeway. I worked in real
But
estate, all
okay,
that, right?
hold up a second. Let's just talk about an important part that you missed. Okay. Marymount, whatever the university you went to. Okay. Chuck and Renee Lamb.
Of course I do.
Where do they get 90% of their business?
From the community they lived in.
No.
I'm
They
wrong.
pursue was it Stanford? They pursue
Oh,
and
Stanford. Was it Stanford and Cal or just Stanford?
Cal.
No, Stanford.
It was Stanford.
Stanford.
They are boosters and they interact with everybody that is also participating in that group, because people that are affiliated or associated with a college, that's a big deal for people.
It's
Right?
huge.
That's a marker that people attach to over and over again. So it's important to remember that that's there. So, all right, let's keep going.
Okay,
Okay.
continue.
Agents using the master prompt see 2 to 3 times growth rates compared to, I don't know where this statistic came from, but what I'm telling you is if you are doing marketing that is more personalized and consistent with your views and values, you're going to get better results. Okay. Keep that information there. And Greg, remind me to delete this slide because
Delete that slide, Michael.
yeah, I thought we were going to get something good. All right. Ooh, love the formatting here. So, all right, let's talk again about context, personal information, your role, your strengths, your weaknesses, your relevant personal insights. Teach AI who you are. Don't take anything for granted. That doesn't mean it's going to use the information, but it will provide value and context when it goes to create something that you're asking for.
Wait, so let's go back to weaknesses and strengths really quickly. A lot of us don't want to talk about our weaknesses. We only want to put the highlight reel into the world, like on social media, and say, I'm number one this is my best. Look at this great photo on the beach, yada, yada. But look, okay, I really, honestly, I'm sad to say, I really suck at cooking. And so should I say in there, I really suck at cooking?
Yeah, not the best chef out there, but I enjoy restaurants. I mean, it's like any resume, right? You can turn that around, Greg, and make the negative a positive.
Fascinating. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry. I'm just
No
clarifying.
worries. Provide your company's history, mission, size, and organizational structure. Okay, this is important, guys. If you're working for Compass or EXP or Century 21, they all have bios and they have information about the company. Include that in there so you can say, I work for this company and here are their values. Here's their history. Here's how many people I'm working with, the size, what their structure is, and let AI use that information to help you get better results. The same thing at the same time, market information. Describe your market landscape, key competitors. Who are you dealing with? Okay, the customer segments, what are the demographics, industry trends, and let AI ferret out what's needed. Remember,
Hold on.
yep,
Let's go back to competitors. I'm really curious about this part. So let's say Joe Blow or Bob over at Remax, whoever you want to pick. You go to their website, you go to their bio, you copy, paste, upload, competitor, right?
yeah,
Then you go to Jane Smith at Compass or whatever, copy, paste, upload. These are my two main competitors.
yep.
What would you do with that?
So I think what AI is going to do with that is it's going to kind of look at what they do and what their highlights are and try to use that information to help you, right? It's like
Interesting.
if Bob says, Greg, I covered Danville, Blackhawk, and that's it. Maybe you automate the system, or it learns to add San Ramon in there to help you expand your market or strengthen that. Okay. I think it's like anything. When you go to create a presentation, you're thinking about Bob,
Yeah.
right? And what would Bob do?
Right.
So is AI.
Can you input data from the MLS? Well, the answer is going to be yes, but I just want to put it out there as a
Yep.
question.
Yeah.
So
100%.
can it forecast? So I mean, again, what you put in, what you get out. I
You can
understand that part.
try.
So, like, if I want to know where people are moving from, so I know where to put ads into on social media to then attract them as buyers or
Yeah.
potential, buyers or sellers into my market, can we do that?
Great idea. Yes, you can. What I would add here in Silicon Valley, and I'm pretty sure in your area as well, we don't track where the buyers came from.
No, we don't. And that's why it's kind of, if you can get any data you can get, you can input, either upload
Yes.
or speak it into your master prompt, right?
Yep. 100%. But you have to have access to that data.
Correct. And you can do that through RPR. That's pretty easy. You can look at market
They're not going to tell
reports.
you where they're from.
He's not going to tell you where it's from. Actually, we can figure that out. That's through. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So you're also going to talk about your team structure, right? Do you have an admin? Do you have a marketing person? Do you have an accounting person? Do you have somebody that manages your documents? How do you do risk management? Okay. You may take that for granted, but it's a great value add. On my team, even if you're a single agent, I have this person that does risk management. I have a broker. I have a receptionist. I have an office admin. All of those things can be included in your master prompt.
Now, I want to stress here that you don't want to lie to the master prompt,
Nope.
but you want to put the most accurate information as at that moment. And like you said, it's a
Correct.
living document, so you can always shift and change it. Correct?
Yep. And, a lot of teams are one
Careful.
agent with a title rep and a mortgage rep and a company resources. Don't oversell AI because it might create that, for you. But put in there, alongside my team, I have these resources. Boom, 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 boom. Products and services for us, that's housing, but it's also for some of us, it's leasing, it's property management. Okay. It's lending, all of those things. And then last, but definitely not least, try to include your culture and values. What do you believe in? Okay. What are the things that matter? Integrity, honesty, all of those things somehow input into your master prompt how you use integrity, how you use honesty, why those things are important to you, what they mean. A great one is family values. I've been married for X number of years, I've got X number of kids, all of those things people attach to. Don't leave them out.
So what you're really saying is humanize yourself on all aspects of your life and
Yep.
hold nothing back. So if you like to go skeet shooting, talk about you like to go skeet shooting. If you like to go horseback riding, you like to go fishing, you like to go hiking, you like to cook. I mean, you're a master gardener. I mean, just talk about everything, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Everything you can.
Or everything you want to talk about.
All right. So here we are talking about Claude again. Claude is a AI tool. I use Claude quite a bit because it's app based. It will run an application on your computer, and it can also provide you task based things where it does things on your computer as well. But they have a feature that lets you upload your master prompt document once, making it automatically accessible in every new conversation. Okay. You can do the same thing with Chat, Gemini, all of them. Okay. You won't be re entering this information over and over. And that's the big one. We're trying to reduce the amount of time that you spend creating context. Okay. Just going to run through this one more time. Gather the personal and company info, document the team and product, define the culture and values, and add the protocols. Okay. It's really easy. Okay. Essential pieces. We just talked about this: personal information, company information, market information, team details, products and services, cultures and values. Okay. Some examples of the protocol, because that's often confusing. Listing protocols. What are the instructions that you use for creating, updating documents, ensuring consistency in your group? Include those in your master prompt. What is your protocol for working with buyers? Okay. How do you do marketing campaigns? All of these things should be the protocols. Okay. Let AI tailor the campaigns around what you are already doing. Okay. Daily use. This is a foundational knowledge that you are loading into AI. You are teaching AI how to be you. Okay. But a better you.
It's kind of terrifying, honestly, but it seems very proactive.
Yeah. Okay. How do you get started? Create a comprehensive Google Doc, detail your information, define your protocols, and upload it into your AI engine of choice. Important side note here: regularly update the document. Do not let this document die with a one-time use. Okay, so now, Greg, let's talk about yours.
Okay.
Are you feeling like you left some things out?
That's an understatement. Let's do this.
And guys, this isn't about being perfect, right? It's not about sitting down in one sitting and creating an excellent document. We are going to talk about flow at some point on one of these shows, and flow allows you to dictate to your computer. A lot of people dictate to their phone. There's a bunch of tools out there that are doing this now. And I just want to remind you that sometimes creating this information is about having a conversation with yourself. Because the beautiful part about the master prompt is it doesn't need some special format, right? It can be free flow, ad lib, text, and you're just, going through and you're telling it how to behave. And that's super valuable as you continue to adjust and work with your master prompt. All right, Greg, let's hear yours.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, like this, I did at around 6 a.m. when I was getting some gas, and so I was just kind of after walking the doggos, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this. I know Michael and I are gonna talk about this today, so I'm gonna try to give it a run, maybe impress them. Horribly failed on that, by the way. Here is what I came up with. So I'll ask chat via talking, and I'll talk back so you guys can hear exactly what happens. Hey, I need you to read back to me our final prompt and then read back to me the ads that you created for me.
Absolutely. Here's the final prompt and the set of ads. Final prompt. Create a highly SEO optimized real estate marketing piece for Greg McDaniel, a seasoned real estate agent with over 125 years of combined experience across 3 states. Greg and his team, backed by a legacy of excellence and a robust network of trusted professionals, specialize in luxury markets and wide range of properties. They are dedicated to serving and giving back to all communities, ensuring clients receive the highest value and best terms, whether buying or selling, all while adhering to the principles of the Fair Housing Act. Greg also hosts the popular podcast Real Estate Uncensored, where he has trained thousands of agents worldwide, many of whom have become millionaires and opened their own brokerages. He was the head trainer for a very large brokerage for 5 years. State community, bringing influence, encouragement, and entertainment. Greg has learned from the best trainers and coaches in the industry for decades, which he leverages to provide unmatched value to sellers and buyers. Greg's team also hosts local community events like the Dump Your Junk Spring Cleaning, which has been a huge success. They focus on keeping the community safe and educated, leveraging top-of-the-line technology for accurate, up-to-date reports. Their communication skills are unmatched, with a dedicated team manager providing instant responses. All services and marketing efforts adhere to the Fair Housing Act, ensuring equal housing opportunities and non-discriminatory practices for all clients. color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin. Instructions: highlight the team's extensive experience, commitment to serving all communities, and their comprehensive resources. Record of achieving success and the use of cutting-edge technology. Incorporate Greg's role as a trainer and international speaker and their commitment to the Fair Housing Act principles. Facebook ad. Unlock the door to your dream home with Greg McDaniel's expert real estate team at eXp Realty. With over 125 years of combined experience across 3 states, we deliver top value and service in every transaction. Whether you're buying or selling, our community-focused approach ensures you get the best outcome. Contact Greg today and experience the difference. 925-915-1978. Instagram ad. Taps, dreaming of a new home or ready to sell? Greg McDaniel's team combines over 125 years of expertise to help you achieve your real estate goals, serving all communities with integrity and dedication. Let's make your real estate dreams come true. Fair Housing Compliance, 925-915-1978. LinkedIn ad. Elevate your real estate experience with Greg McDaniel's seasoned team at eXp Realty. With over 125 years of combined experience across 3 states, we deliver top-notch service, leveraging advanced technology and a community-focused mindset. Whether you're buying or selling, our community-focused approach ensures you get the best outcome. Contact Greg today and experience the difference. 925-915-1978. Let me know if everything looks good or if you need any more adjustments.
Please add my DRE number in to all of those ads.
All right. So, Greg, I want to step back for a second, and we're going to...
Now you're just going to make me look stupid, aren't you?
No, I'm not going to make you look stupid. Too easy.
Jokes.
Okay. So, let's just go through... Actually, let's go to the other one. Let's go through this. So what I gathered out of that, and the first thing I'm going to tell you is the information you are providing cannot be generated by ChatGPT. It doesn't know enough about you. So you can't use a prompt to get to this information. Because did you include any real personal information?
I thought I did, but apparently I did not.
Did you talk about what your role is?
I did not.
Any of your strengths?
I did not.
Any key personal insights? College, education?
I did not. Damn it.
Influence. Okay. Now, did you include any company information?
eXp Realty. So yeah.
Okay.
But
What
no,
about-
I didn't do a bio on them. I didn't talk about them. I didn't go to eXp, get information and copy and paste it. I did not do that. No.
Any market information? Areas you
dude.
service?
I just feel dumb and dumber as we go through this conversation.
You know, and here's what I'm going to tell you, and I pick on you all the time. So it's
true.
You've got to step out of what we're used to. And again, what I heard your phone say was 6 months of Greg's life. We thought about a little bit in the past and a little bit in the future, but we didn't talk about who Greg is, right? And for you, this is going to be a dive that you don't normally take, okay? Because it's hard in your strengths. Good communicator, great on camera, ooh, that sexy boy, all those things you've got to put into your personal information. You've got to talk about your parents. You've got to talk about how you grew up. Okay. Those aren't things that we normally have a conversation about in real estate, but this isn't about real estate. This is about training AI who you are. Okay. Same with the company information. It may know who eXp is, but it's not going to know the things that you want to share, the size, the history, how it's organized, how people get involved in eXp. You want to put all those things in there. The market information, what areas did you service? What are the demographics in those areas? What are the populations? What is historically, relevant for those? Okay.
That's really pretty interesting because we take all this information for granted because it's in our brains, right? I
Exactly.
know who my mom is, who my dad is, who my brother, who my sister, our past history, so on and so forth, where they went to college, where I went to college. And I think there has to be some sort of a limit there, and you have to get permission to talk about other people in a prompt. You can't be
Yep.
like I called my sister the other day and I said, "Hey, look, I have a photo of your four kiddos and me, and we're at the ranch, and can I post this?" And she's like, "I would really prefer if you don't."
Yeah, but the master prompt is different, right? Because this isn't information that you have to use. Okay. Now, before we get lost in the weeds there, one of the
Sure.
things that you did include was team details. Okay. You talked a little bit about years in the business, but you didn't talk about how you got there, right?
That's an ugly story. I don't think anybody wants to know that one.
Well, but it's important, and that ties into your weaknesses, right? We started
Going
this
back to
team
weaknesses.
because of this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay.
Okay, so be vulnerable and be transparent on every level, right?
Be transparent. Okay. Because, Greg, the way you're going to use this is you're going to do what you did: create me an ad, create me a CMA, create me a marketing letter. But it's not saying create me an ad and just send it out blind,
Hmm.
right? It's going to give you information, and it's going to learn from what you like and what you don't.
So basically, we're dating a computer.
Yeah, sure. We'll call her Monica. And sorry, inside joke. But you also didn't put your culture and values there, right? You didn't talk about, you know, what's important to you in business. What do you stand for? What do you like? And I'll tell you what I heard out of that. And I don't know how many pages was the fair housing info you put in there.
I actually didn't upload anything. I just told her to add fair housing. So I have to go in and go on the computer and then actually upload all that documentation along with
So
a lot of other stuff.
based on the facts that I heard, the FHA data was more information, more number of pages than what you put everywhere else,
It
right?
did. It did say it quite a bit. Yeah.
Because it made that very important. And to me, that's just a sideline. Okay. And, all of this training can be done in a number of ways. In a non master prompt way, what I have been doing is taking HOA docs and minutes and uploading them to Claude. And then I ask Claude a question: with this information, what should I be aware of, nervous about? Highlight the things that stand out as red flags.
You could take You could take notes from city council
Yeah,
notes and upload that for each city that you work.
for
Right.
years, right? But I wouldn't necessarily put that in a master prompt, right? Unless it's something that you rely on all the time. No more than I would include HOA docs, but it's nice to know that you can take this information and you can use it, right? So when you have this and these master prompts, what I want you to think about is this is just the context, right?
Hmm.
So the purpose of doing this is to get better results. This is the context that you're providing. And at the end of the day, we want to get the results.
Can you make multiple? Well, okay. Let me rephrase. The master prompt goes into your profile. That is your core, who you are, what you believe in, where you work,
Correct.
what you do, history about you, blah blah blah. But you can create additional prompts. So there's a very specific, well, two specific communities. They're very different. So there's a older community, 55 and older, called Rossmore, very
Ross,
large, and they are very specific on their what they want in documentation and kind of how they operate. The other one is a very large country club on the other side of town called Blackhawk. Now, these are just two different names and identities for references. But you could go. Can you go request the CCA&Rs, from the boards, upload those documents, upload anything you can get your fingertips on. So now, are we just taking photos and sending it over? Are we scanning it? Are we emailing it? How are we getting this over to them, or over to them,
Well,
aka the
you're
prompt
going to include it. Usually it's as a PDF,
PDF?
right?
Okay.
And yes, you could add it in there. There's no limit. And some of this is going to be we talk about protocols, right? Is you look about your custom protocols here, as you're doing your listing presentation, for example. So if we go out here, you've got your listing protocol. You might want to include in there, hey, if I am talking to somebody in the community of Blackhawk, make sure that my listing protocol includes ordering a green wood sign,
Right.
because they only allow one type of sign. Okay.
So knowing your market. Okay.
Knowing your market. But that's also part of your protocol, right? It's if you're going to have chat create a project plan for a new listing in Blackhawk, you want that in there. Because if you don't have that green sign, it's not like you can drive over to the board and get it.
So what about going to like not ChatGPT? What about going to like RPR, right? And let's say you live at 123 Main Street, anywhere USA, or let's say 123 Main Street, Blackhawk, and I'll get this report, download it, get a PDF, upload it to chat, right? Then go get a comprehensive CMA, download it, upload it.
Sure.
Obviously, you tweak it a little bit.
All that is part of a single use prompt, though. That's not part of your master prompt. But absolutely,
right.
I upload stuff all the time. And I say, give me, an example of this, right? Or use this example to compile information. I mean,
Can
there's
you get
so much
personal information? Can you go to like, and I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm just very curious about this. So if you want to do research on Michael Fielden, who's at 123 Main Street, anywhere USA, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go research Michael so I know what he's about. So I go to your LinkedIn page.
Mhm.
Can I just copy and paste everything on LinkedIn, upload it,
You
copy
can
and paste
share
it
the
in,
link.
share the link into it?
Here's the link. I'm doing a presentation for this user. Here's their LinkedIn link. Let me know how I should prepare this presentation.
That is like evilly awesome. Like that is like this is like cheating on a whole different level when you understand the game, because there's infinite opportunities here.
Yeah. And, I say this over and over, Greg, and I know you've heard it before. AI isn't going to replace you, right?
No.
But agents that use AI are going to replace agents that don't.
You can go to the MLS, and if you're like, let's say you're new in a market, or you're kind of haven't been doing a lot of business and you kind of want to understand it, you could go download the last 5 years of data out of the MLS, upload that PDF up in there, and just be like, hey, I need a market analysis. Where's the market trending? What's selling more? What neighborhoods are selling more? What are the price points? Where are the trends? Where do you see it going? Yada, yada. And it will kick out a report for you based upon like, hey, I want in a spreadsheet. I want charts. I just want bullet points, that kind of a thing. Is that accurate?
Yes. And
Good
now
God.
you can even have it create formatted PowerPoints. There's so much stuff that you can do with very little effort.
That is so. I got in the business 26 years ago. You're right along with me on that number. Back in the day, we had to get the Thomas Brother guide out, and we had to like map out our routes so that you could go show homes. Then we had to go into the MLS and manually articulate exactly what's going on. Then you have to go to a mapping program, take that data, put it into this other program so you can see where's trending. But you can put all that in there and be like, hey, chat, I need you to give me a map of give me a heat map of where the properties are selling the most in 2025, 2024, 20 whatever number that it is when you guys hear this video. But is that plausible?
Pretty much anything you can think you can do. There's a couple of things. Is it the right way to do it? Statistics, I would say go to your MLS, use AccuList or something like that, or RPR, and you're probably going to get better results than what you're going to be able to create from your prompt. Right. Because unless you provide enough context, it's hard to get where you want.
And again, it goes back to being granular, not 10,000 foot. Like I was 10,000 foot earlier today. And that's something that I thought I was being granular. And I obviously have significantly failed at that. I'm going to work on that later today.
Greg, that wasn't 10,000 feet, dude. That was that Richard Branson jet that skips across at 65 to 95,000 feet.
I just snorted.
You absolutely had no gravity there, dude. None whatsoever.
Man, I am getting spanked live on air, ladies and gentlemen. Good God. Yep. But here's the point. I don't mind being spanked live on air, not physically. Don't get weird, people. But the whole point is that I thought I was doing a good job and I was proud of myself, right? Mm-hmm. But then Michael came along and really broke it down very in a linear mindset pattern. And now I'm like, whoa, man, I left out a lot of good content there. And I think that when you guys make your master prompts, I want you to go back and watch this, pause the video, reach out to Michael, and his team, because even if you think you're doing really good, like I did this morning, no, you're not.
Yeah,
you're really not. And I'm so sorry to say that.
Yeah. And hey, guys, feel free to send your master prompt to Greg at REGeeks or Michael at REGeeks.com. We will help you through this. This isn't something you have to do alone. It's not easy. And I think what I hear you saying is you tried to build your master prompt by taking some shortcuts. You took for granted what AI was going to be able to do for you. And the master prompt is you want to teach AI the things that it doesn't already know. It doesn't know where you went to school. It doesn't know your relationship. It doesn't know that you have a dog. All of those things. 2 dogs. I've got one too. He's snoring under the table right now.
Me too.
Yeah. Like, okay, guys. But yeah, there is no shortcuts. And this isn't a one-day process. This is a lot of work, but the intent is to give you better. And we're going to go through. We've done, what the purpose is. We've talked about the context. Here's the results. You're going to get better results every time you ask the system to help you with the things that are in your master prompt. You don't have to repeat them. You don't have to constantly tell it you're a realtor. You don't have to constantly tell it about your company or your market areas. It knows all of those things. You're going to get better results. That's what this is about.
It's like we said earlier in the program, it's literally a relationship that you're building. So you're going on different dates with this program, and your first date, sometimes you don't say everything you're going to say on a first date. Second date, little more information. Third date, more information. Fourth date, ton of information. 15th, if that happens, a lot more information. Right now we're talking. Now we're burning with gas. For me, I'll be honest with you, I'm slightly uncomfortable inputting all this information because I don't know where the data is going. I don't know who's harvesting it. I mean, what CIA, FBI, NSA is sucking all that information up?
Do you care?
I'm a licensed real estate agent on every federal board, so no, I do not.
Exactly. And what I would tell you is that your individual data isn't valuable. The aggregated data of everybody is valuable. Is there risk of exposing? Yeah, don't include your ATM number and your bank codes.
Wait, shoot, I did that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I wrote it down. Don't worry.
Well, good luck getting some money out of that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you just got to remember, Greg, that this is a tool to help you. You have to make an investment with that tool.
Right. And you do. But you've been yelling at me for a long time. Greg, get the $20 a month, the 4.0 ChatGPT. I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. Nah, not worth it. So I finally broke down and I got it. And I will tell you, guys and gals, it is probably one of the best investments I have ever made in technology because it's $20. Cut out your Starbucks, go to Trader Joe's or Safeway or wherever you buy your coffee from. Get some homemade coffee, cut it out. Stop the BS.
Yep.
This, if used properly, it can literally change your business, and you can, surpass all of your competitors. I mean, Michael, I'm gonna throw this at you. You don't know this is coming at you right now. So let's say I'm looking at
I lost my hat.
well, that's a whole different story. $80 hat. It's probably under the desk somewhere. The dog's sitting on it. But if I could go to a competitor, either company and or agent. Let's say it's Bob Smith at REMAX, which I always make fun of Bob Smith, which I don't know Bob Smith, by the way. It's just a hypothetical
whatever.
name. So I go to Bob Smith's YouTube page, and he has 20,000 views on a neighborhood review. So I take that, and I can take that clip, put it into chat, and then what would I ask that so I can make the same video but get more updated content so I can surpass him, and then ask what like channel tags, video tags, and everything that they're using.
So first off, if he's got 20,000 views, he's probably built up more of an audience as a de facto standard than you have, right? He's got more followers, he's got more likes, and those come organically. What you're going to do is probably drop out of ChatGPT, go to something like Synthesia, and use one of these AI boosts and create a video, but don't create the exact same video.
No, that's not. Okay. No, not the same. I'm saying
not even close, Greg. Be unique to you.
I agree with that comment. I'm asking for context. So Synthesia, okay,
is one tool, but here's another way for you to do it. Share the link with chat for that video and say, hey, I'd like to create a video like this. You've already done your master prompt. Rewrite this video and give me a outline of what the video is and a script that I can use to create this video. Now you've got something to work from. But we've built this from your master prompt, right? It knows who you are. Mm-hmm. So it can be authentic and true to you. It knows your culture. It knows your values. It knows your company.
That's so interesting. Because you can go to any business in town, like a burger shop, a coffee shop,
anything,
a bar, a park, anything. And now you have detailed information that would be relatable back for you to your consumers.
Yep.
I love this. But how long? Okay, and it's just something. I know we're running up on a deadline here. And guys, please reach out to Michael Fielden if you guys want to have a consultation with him. I mean, he's going to be over here at Support Geeks. That's his company up here in the top. Reach out to him. I'm going to pick his brain at the end of this show about some stuff. But I mean, talk about in the digital era, being able to be someone who sticks out in a good way and heads and shoulders above, like what I did, right? So my prompt today was abysmal. You come along. Shut up.
I just thought you were being really nice to yourself.
And so I'm going to tweak that. But I mean, in all honesty, when people, when they start on this journey and doing prompts, which is very intimidating, it really is. It's honestly very intimidating.
Yep.
Not for you, but for the layman's like me. Are we talking about 1 day, 2 days, a week, a month, ongoing? But I mean, just to get the bare bone basics started, what kind of time frame are we looking at?
I generally tell people plan a week.
A week. Okay. So just kind of write stuff down.
Probably 6 to 8 hours worth of work.
Okay. So if you're sitting watching TV, just have a notepad out or an iPad out or something, or tablet, something, and just jotting down different categories, right?
Don't enter it twice. So type it in, write it in on your iPad and transcribe it, whatever it is. But yes, because you've got to go back. You've got to give it context. You've got to talk about your schools. You've got to talk about your history. All of those things that you take for granted are going to help AI know who you are.
It's funny. The more you talk about that, my friend Alyssa Glutz, aka Color My Credit on Instagram and TikTok. By the way, go check her out. Phenomenal woman, very, very knowledgeable in regards to lending and loans and stuff. But she did exactly what Michael is talking about right now, and she calls her Chad. That's her digital boyfriend.
Yeah.
All jokes assuming there, but Chad knows everything about her. So when she asks a question or wants to get information, it pops out the information specifically tailored to her. And I thought she was full of it. But now hearing this conversation, I'm like, I got some work to do. In the
Yeah.
evenings or the early mornings, sit down, just but like you said, Michael, it's going to take about a week or more, or whatever it's going to take. Just don't rush it. Just
It's
think
going
it
to take what
through.
it's going to take. Yep.
I mean, I could say, anyways, I'm not going to go there.
And what I'm also going to tell you guys is don't use AI to do it. Right. This
Think it
isn't
out, right?
about AI. This is about what AI isn't. And you want to do that in a way that is authentic to you.
That can't be scary sometimes. Some of the things that you know about yourself you don't want to say, like what's something I would admit to.
I got one. Greg talks too much, and we're at time.
And this is when Michael, it's been so good to have you on the show today. And we're back to me. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I have all the buttons, though. I can push those buttons too.
Yes, you can. All right, let's do a quick 5 bullet point takeaway, and then let these good folks get back to their work. They can go back and watch this, guys. Please, if you're tuning in right now or seeing this, go back to the very beginning. Michael has dropped hammer. He's got a PowerPoint up here. He loves his PowerPoints.
Yeah, I do. Here's your bullet points, Greg. Okay, you guys get out there, create your action plan, create your comprehensive Google Docs. Give it your personal information, your role, your strengths, your weaknesses, your company's information. Define all of these things and how you want it to be. Okay. Once you have created that, upload it into your chat preferences of choice. And then finally, and Greg, I think this is the important one. We don't have that on the slide, is don't think you're done.
Ooh.
Okay. This is a living document. And I would tell people update it every month, even if you only add 1 or 2 sentences or you delete something, that isn't relevant anymore.
Can you put in something like, so let's go back to the updating every month concept. Like that's, Greg went to Greg, third person talking. I just got back from a wonderful vacation to Hawaii. Went to blah 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 yakety schmack. I dove with the dolphins. I saw sea turtles. Walked in the beach. Had a great food. It was a blast. Super hot. Blah blah blah.
Sure, put it in there. If AI doesn't need it, it won't use it. It doesn't have to use all of this. It's about learning who you are and what do you pull out of this. Okay, that paragraph that Greg just read, hey, Greg's a scuba diver. He's been to Hawaii and he likes animals. Okay, those things come into play.
Interesting. What about community? Like going to the app called Nextdoor, which I really do not like that app. I think it's like the poor man's version of just bitching. But what if you could do community updates through that, or do community updates through something else? Is that something that's relevant, or would you rather do a broader?
I think you're digging. Again,
I am digging.
This is about the things that apply to you.
Apply to you. Okay.
And I think Nextdoor lately I actually like the tool, but I think it's definitely not a valuable resource in most cases.
It's like the modern days Craigslist.
Yes. Well,
for bitching.
Yep.
But okay, so just make it about you, make it about your values, your community, your business, your team, your history,
your protocols, your culture, your values, the things that you find important. Those are the things that you want to relay. And it's hard, guys. This isn't easy, right? You want to dive deep. And if you need help, send me an email, Michael at REGeeks. I'll send you a list of questions. I'll get you started.
Do it. All right, Michael. let's rock out of here. We've been on
Okay.
here for about an hour. I know people
Yep.
got other stuff to do. I mean, we are two handsome men, and so I'm sure they're loving to watch us. And that's a
With no
joke,
hat.
ladies and gentlemen. But we appreciate you watching. And Michael, what do you think we should talk about our next show?
On our next show, Greg, we're going to talk about a couple of things. One, we're going to talk about Whisper Flow and kind of the future of AI. I'm hoping at that point we might know a little bit more about what Johnny Ivy and OpenAI are doing, and maybe we can talk a little bit about what the mobilization of AI looks like. Right? When is AI going to become a robot or really integrated into your car more than it is today? That's coming soon.
You and I were talking about this off air. In the future, I mean, I don't have kids, you have kids, but when your daughters have kids, they're going to look at you and go, like, Grandpa, you actually had to hold a phone?
Yeah.
Like, what is that all about? It's like us looking at a rotary phone or a pay phone going like, huh, that's archaic.
Yeah, exactly. My mom just switched over today from a flip phone
A clamshell? Oh, no.
to an iPhone. And her first question is, if you text me pictures of the dogs, do I have to pay? And I'm like, Mom, I gotta go.
I just got a headache. I got to go.
Yeah. It hurts. It hurts.
Well, that's coming up next week for you guys. So stay tuned. We're going to keep coming back at you. Hopefully this is helpful. Put it into action. Do not sit here on like a hen that sits on an egg. Put it into action. Spend the $20. Michael and I literally don't make a dang dime off of this. Okay.
Nope.
It's not like we're profiting and we're going to go sit on our 100,000-foot yacht because you guys put $20 into chat.
Ooh, but we want to.
Oh, I would like a 100,000-foot yacht. Yeah, that'd be great.
A
Little too big.
I'll take 40 feet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you, Greg. Thanks again. Everybody take care and have a great day.
We love you guys. Peace out. We're going.